Hello students, welcome to lecture number 11 of our chemistry online classes in Sri Guru Independent PU College of Science, Kalburgi. So in last class we completed the integrated rate equation of zero order, first order, as well as we have completed the half-life period of the zero order and first order reaction. We have defined half-life period as the time required to reduce the concentration of the reactant to half of its initial concentration. We have derived it for zero order, we have derived it for first order also. Derivation itself is not difficult. We have to start with integrated rate equation and automatically we will get the half-life period if we substitute the condition of what we mean by half-life period. Now there are some formulas which we have to use. Already I have written these formulas because already we have studied them in the last two classes, so I will not once again derive them. So for zero order reaction, rate constant K equals to initial molar concentration of reactant at time t equals to 0 and molar concentration of reactant at time t, and this is the time duration for which this reaction is carried out. This x is nothing but, this R0 minus R is nothing but x, because if R0 is A and x mole per liter has been decomposed, the remaining will be A minus x. So this is A minus x, A minus A plus x plus A minus A we can cancel and we can substitute this as x. So x is equal to Kt. T half is equal to initial molar concentration of reactant divided by 2K. We have derived this in last class, and T 100% is equal to 2 times of this multiplied by 2. This 2 get cancelled and we have this initial molar concentration of reactant divided by the rate constant. Half-life period directly proportional to the initial concentration of the reactant. For first order reaction, this equation we have derived, we call it as integrated rate equation. K equals to 2.03 by T log of initial molar concentration divided by concentration of reactant at time t. K equals to 2.03 by T. This initial molar concentration we can have some more notation, that is small a, and this reactant concentration left at time t is nothing but A minus x, because x mole per liter have been disappeared when the reaction start progressing. Another one form I have just written here. See this form. This is a new way in which we are writing this expression. K is equal to 2.03. This T is nothing but difference between two times, T2 minus T1, such that T2 is greater than T1. For example, this is 60 minutes and this is 30 minutes. So T2 is greater than T1. Log of this R1 is nothing but molar concentration at time T1, and R2 is nothing but molar concentration of reactant at time T2, and R1 is greater than R2 because as time passes molar concentration of reactant decreases. This we have derived. Half-life period is equal to 0.693 by K, and we said that half-life period of first order reaction is independent of molar concentration, initial molar concentration of the reactant. T 100% is equal to infinity, that also part we have seen. This is also very useful formula, particularly in MCQs we can use this. This molar concentration of reactant after n half-lives is equal to initial molar concentration of the reactant divided by 2 raised to small n, and this n is nothing but number of half-lives. And how it is calculated? Time taken divided by T half. For example, if half-life period is 30 minutes and reaction is carried for 60 minutes, 60 divided by 30, it means 2. N value is 2, and we can write this as 2 square. We'll solve numericals on it so that this formula will be clear. we'll solve numericals on all this formula, so that this part should be very much clear to you. And this way also we have derived for gaseous reaction, only this type of gaseous reaction. Remember, 1 mole of gaseous reactant decomposes to form 1 mole of gaseous product B as well as 1 mole of gaseous product C. So for this we have obtained this equation, K equals to 2.03 by T log of this initial concentration, that is initial partial pressure of A divided by 2 multiplied by initial partial pressure of A, and from that we have to subtract the total pressure of the gaseous system at time t. This Pt is total pressure at time t. So these are the various equations. I have listed all the equations so that we can use them properly. So you have to make list of this formulae. You have to understand the terms involved into them. What is their significance in the formula, so that when you read the question you can solve them properly. Now, apart from this formula part, one more part important is the graphical representation. So all the graphs we have seen in the zero order as well as first order reaction. Now I will make one table here for all these graphical representation, and that table you have to complete as the homework, because already we have plotted this graph. So see what type of table I am writing here. So I will write here as graphical representations, because this is modern trend in the question paper that graphical questions are appearing. So every graph we should understand it, because graph helps in understanding the process in a better way. So this is for zero order reaction. 4 graphs we have to plot. On the y-axis, on the x-axis, these are the 2 variables. What we get when we plot this in a slope, in the form of slope and the form of intercept. So if you understand this y-axis, x-axis, these are the 2 variables, and these 2 constant we obtain from every graph. The first graph which we have to plot in this is the molar concentration of reactant versus time. Remember that graph, molar concentration of reactant on y-axis, time on x-axis. We get straight line with the negative slope equals to negative k, and intercept equals to r0. I will not write this, just now I have told you, but you have to complete this by recalling the graph and by plotting the graph, so that it is kind of revision for you. Then another one will be x, which is r0 minus r, and t, the slope and intercept. Then third will be half-life period and the initial molar concentration of the reactant. And fourth will be rate of reaction and time. The last graph, particularly if you look into it, rate of reaction does not depend on the concentration of reactant in zero order. So what we get the straight line parallel to the x-axis. This is the description. So in which 2 parameters the graph is plotted for zero order reaction, and we get straight line parallel to x-axis. It is in between rate of reaction and the time period. So these are the 4 types of graphs we can see in zero order reaction. You have to complete this for these 3 entries, for the slope and this for intercept. It is easier one, because already we have gone through this graph and I explain you how the graph looks like. Now in the first order reaction, of course you can pause this video and just make this table, because here only I am writing this for first order reaction in the same graph. And what changes I will make now is the natural log of reactant concentration versus T. the slope will be negative k and intercept will be natural log of initial molar concentration of reactant. So this is one type of graph we have seen in first order reaction. We also get the straight line parallel to x-axis in terms of first order reaction. That graph is between half-life period and the initial molar concentration, because half-life period is equal to 0.693 by K, and that equation does not involve initial molar concentration of reactant, so we get the straight line parallel to x-axis. The remaining two graphs are, we have to convert this as log to the base of 10 of R, and this is time t, and another one is log of the initial molar concentration of reactant at time t, and this t. So you can complete this slope and intercept column by looking into the notes you already made when I was explaining this. So the list of all formula is important for us because we are going to use them, and the list of graphical representation. Zero order reaction 4 graphs and first order reaction also 4 graphs you should know. Now before moving to the numerical question, I want to clear one point here. See the relationship between half-life period and initial molar concentration in every order. This half-life period and this R0 initial molar concentration, it is directly proportional. Directly proportional means raised to 1 in the zero order reaction, and this half-life period is independent. Independent means we can write initial molar concentration raised to 0, which is independent in first order reaction. So this is 1, this is 0, it is in decreasing order. So we can say that in the second order, this I will write R0, this is 1, this is 0, and I will write it is negative 1, and this is T half. In the same chronology, I will write this 1, 0, and this is negative 1. This is for second order. If you want to know the relation between third order, you can write this as T half is directly proportional to R0 raised to minus 2, means inversely proportional to square of the initial concentration. Can we generalize this pattern, because there seems to be a pattern clearly here. This is 1, 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, it will go on as we increase the order from 0, first, second and third. So we can write this as T half is directly proportional to R0 raised to 1 minus n. Yes, we can write like this, because this is order is first 1 minus 1, 0. The order is second 1 minus, second order is 2, 1 minus 2 is minus 1. Third order n is 3, 1 minus 3 is equal to minus 2. So this equation also we can use, because there are many MCQs which states that half-life period of a reaction is inversely proportional to square of initial concentration. What might be the order of a reaction? We can just see this relation. Inversely proportional to square means negative 2, and we should say that order must be third. But if you know this relation and if you know how this relation goes, so this one additional formula we can add. Now we can start the questions, because many questions are there in our textbook exercise in college CET material, so we have to practice them very carefully. I will solve questions in classroom as well as I will give you the homework, and sincerely you should complete that homework also. So I will start this question from the in-text question we have. In-text question we have 4.6 in our textbook. So this is the first question we are solving. The question is time required to decompose. Time required to decompose. If you have inside a textbook, you just open the textbook, read, and you start solving, because before me, if you solve, your confidence will be in a better level. So decompose this SO2 Cl2 thionyl chloride to half of its initial amount is 60 minutes. If the decomposition is a first order reaction, calculate rate constant of reaction in per second. We'll first get in per minute, because half-life period. Half of its initial value means half-life period they have given, which is 60 minutes. And they said that it is a first order reaction. It's very important. We have to search the order of reaction in the equation, because if it is zero order reaction, formula is different. T half is equal to R0 divided by 2K. And if it is first order reaction, T half is equal to 0.693 by K. If order is not mentioned, we have to look at the unit of the rate constant. We have done enough practice by looking into unit of the rate constant. In fact, we can predict the order of reaction. You may recall that mole raised to 1 minus n, liter raised to n minus 1, and per time is the unit in which we can substitute that. Now here we can say that half-life period is given, T half is given, which is 60 minutes, and they ask the K. So we can write this as T half is equal to 0.693 by K. So you can transfer this K as 0.693 by 60. We can write like this: 693 multiplied by 10 raised to minus 3. I have transferred this decimal point here. Then this is 60. I will cancel this point here and I will write here. So it will be 6 ones are 1, 9, so it is 1, and this is 3, so it is 33, so it is 5. Still 3 remains, so it becomes 30, so it is 5 multiplied by 10 raised to minus 3. So I will write this as 1.155 multiplied by 10 raised to minus 2. But what is the unit? It is a number, it has no unit, and this K, this is number, it has no unit, and this half-life period, I think you know this, 0.693 by T half. I will just rearrange this, and I have substituted this T half here as 60. So we are skip it here, but I will write here. So what is the unit? This is number, it has no unit, and this T half has unit, minute. So we can see it as per minute. In per minute we have calculated this, but they asked it in per second, so we can write it as K is equal to 1.155 into 10 raised to minus 2, and per minute means divided by minute. So I will write here as 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds, this minute and this minute I can cancel, so I can write this as K equals to, I will write here as 115.5 into 10 raised to minus 4. I have just shifted this decimal point here so that calculation will be easier, divided by 60 here. So I will again shift this decimal point here, and I will write 1, because 6 ones are 6, 5 remains, and 6 9 are 54. Then again 1 remains, it becomes 15, so it becomes 12. 3 remains, it becomes 30, and it becomes 5. into 10 raised to minus 4. Now we can write this as per second. So k equals to, it is per second. Of course, you can use calculator also and you will get the same answer. So this is the first question regarding the 4.6. Yes, I have the same value, 1.155 into 10 raised to minus 2 per minute and 1.925 into 10 raised to minus 4 per second. Right. So this is the question, first question regarding the half-life period. Very simple, direct relation we have. T half is equal to 0.693 by k. K equals to, we just shifted this here, 0.693 by T half. We have substituted. First we got it in per minute. The question demands in per second, so we have converted this into per second. If they ask it for per second, we have to calculate it in per second. If they do not mention this, calculate the rate constant. The question is like this. You can keep this as per minute. No need to convert that to per second. Why I have done this? Because in this in-text questions, they have given some answers in exercise and they have written it in per second. You should not get confused. That's why I have solved the question in first unit of per minute and then in per second, only to correlate that answer given in the textbook. So this is the first question we have completed. We have to maintain the speed also, because if we spend much time on these simple questions, we may not get enough time to solve important questions which are little bit lengthy, not much lengthy like in physics, but yes, we sometimes get lengthy questions in kinetics. Now, of course, we'll make short. Whenever lengthy question comes, I will explain the tricks for that. So now the next one is, the question is now textbook exercise question. I will write this as TB means textbook. This is short form we'll use. Exercise question, and that is 4.13 question. 4.13 textbook exercise. Similar question I have grouped so that we'll have a better command on these questions. Calculate half-life. Calculate half-life. Calculate half-life of a first order reaction. First order reaction from their rate constants. From their rate constants given below. So there are three sub questions here. The first is, it is 200 per second. The second one is 2 per minute. See the units of rate constant, it's per second, per minute. As we see in the first order reaction, they have given it as first order reaction also. And the third one is the 4 per year. So we can easily solve this question. We can write this as T half. I will write the first question here. T half, yes, they asked to calculate half-life period only, is equal to 0.693 by K. This 0.693 divided by, it is 200, they have given that. We can write this as 693 into 10 raised to minus 3 divided by 200. I will cancel this 20 and I will write point here. So I can divide now 6.93 by 2. It is 3. 2 3s are 6. Then 2 4s are 8. It becomes 13. 2 6s are 12. And then 1 remains. So I can write it as 5 here. So because 2 5s are 10, multiplied by 10 raised to minus 3. And as is per second, so this has no unit number, divided by s raised to minus 1, and when we solve this we can write this as second. So this only s is to be written, not SEC as student usually do. because it is SI rate and we have to write just only second, right? So this is the second question now, and it is 2 per minute, the same procedure, only the value of rate constant is different here, 0.693 divided by 2, and we can write this as point, this is 2 and this is 4, because this is 3, 2 3s are 6, 2 4s are 8, and 2 6s are 12, 1 remains and it becomes 5, and we have to write this as, yes, it is minute. And in third part, half-life period 0.693 by k, it is 0.693 by k is 4 per year, so we can write as 0. 0.6 ones are 4 ones are 6, 2 remains, 29, 4 sevens are 28, 13, and then it becomes 4 3s are 12, 4 3s are 12, and then 1 remains, if it can make it 10, it becomes 2, and that becomes equals to here. So this is the answer here. So if you see the question before us, half-life period, it is, the first one is 3.465 into 10 raised to minus 3 seconds, 0.3465 minute, and 0.1732 here. Yes, this is the correct answer. I already solved this here, so I can compare these answers. Right, so this is 2 very simple questions, directly they have been asked. Now I have to go ahead to the next question. When I write question, you can pause the video, you can solve yourself and then see how I am solving, because these are not difficult questions. Direct substitution we are doing here. Now see the next question. The next question is rate constant for a reaction. This is third question we are solving now. The rate constant for a reaction. The rate constant for a reaction of zero order. Zero order questions are not given in text and not exercise, but we can see them in the MCQ. So very careful about it. Rate constant for a reaction of zero order. For a reaction of zero order is zero order in A is the reactant dimension, is 0.003, and it is mole per liter per second. We know that unit of rate constant of zero order reaction is same as unit of rate of reaction, which is mole per liter per second. We came across this term many times. How long means they are asking time. Will it take for initial concentration of A, for initial concentration of A to fall from 0.1 mole per liter to 0.075 mole per liter. This is the question before us. They have mentioned that it is zero order reaction. So we can first see what data they have given. Rate constant they have given. So we can write this as K equals to 0.003 mole per liter per second. How long means they are asking about time. T is equal to question mark. Initial concentration 0.1 mole per liter is the initial concentration, so it is R0 is equal to 0.1 mole per liter, and 2 means this is final concentration after this time T, so this R equals to 0.075 mole per liter. Now we know the relation between them in the zero order reaction. This is most important thing. If they do not mention zero order reaction, look at the unit of rate constant and you can make it out that it is the zero order reaction. So that trick also you should know. So K equals to R0 minus R by T, and this T equals to, we can transfer this to the R0 minus R by K, and this initial concentration is 0.1 and this 0.075 and divided by this is 0.003. So we can just calculate this 0.1 and this is 0.075. we have to subtract from it. It is 5, this is 8, 2, and this is, we can say 0.025 divided by 0.003. I can write this as 25 multiplied by 1000. We can make decimal point here. The same thing we can multiply here also, value will remain same. So 25 by 3 is equal to 3 8s are 24, 1 remains, 1 is 1/3 of 3, so we can write this as 3. Now what time we should use unit? It is mole per liter per second, so we can write this as second. So this is the answer we are getting here, 8.33 second, right? So you write this question and try to understand how data we have extracted from the question, how different terms we have correlated, and how answer is obtained. Now we can see this question number 4. We can say that a reaction is 50% complete, means they are giving half-life period. 50% complete, 50% complete in 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, it is allowed to proceed. It is allowed to proceed. Allowed to proceed another 5 minutes. Another 5 minutes. How much the reaction? How much the reaction would complete at the end of 15 minutes if it follows zero order kinetics. If it follows zero order kinetics. Now it is 50% complete in 10 minutes. So they are giving this half-life period, which is 10 minutes. Allowed to proceed another 5 minutes, means time duration of this reaction. Half completed 10 minutes and then again they allowed 5 minutes to proceed further. So complete reaction, they have duration for which they have carried out this reaction is 50 minutes. How much of reaction would complete, means how much of concentration remain. How much of concentration will remain at the end of 15 minutes if it follows the zero order kinetics. So we can write this as, when they ask about how much percentage wise, so we can write this as 100% is the R0 value here, and we can calculate how much of it would have been reaction would complete, means we can calculate R0 minus R. because this is the amount of reaction completed. So they are asking how much of reaction would complete, means they are asking X. So which is R0 minus R. Whether K is given, I will write formula here. K is equal to R0 minus R by T, and they are asking how much reaction would have been completed. So R0 minus R is equal to KT. Whether K is given, it is not given, but we can easily make it out that it is the zero order reaction. So we can write this as R0 by 2 multiplied by T half multiplied by T. So this R0 initial concentration is 100. This is 2 multiplied by half-life period. It's already given, it is 10 minutes, and the time duration for which this reaction is completed is 15 minutes. So we can cancel this 0, 0, and we can write this as 5, and we can say that it is 75%. So how much reaction would complete? We can say that 75% reaction would complete in 15 minutes. So this is the answer we are getting here. 75% reaction would have been completed. How much reaction would complete means they are asking about X, how much has been decomposed. So this is one question we have completed regarding zero order reaction. One more last question on this zero order reaction will complete, and then so sixth question we are talking about. This is the first order reaction. It is a first order reaction. No, before that we have to complete last question of zero order reaction. So the rate constant of zero order reaction is 0.25 mole per liter per hour. This is per hour. The unit of time here is in hour. And see what they have given again. Per hour. What will be initial concentration? What will be initial concentration of the reactant if after 30 minutes its concentration is 0.075 mole per liter, capital M. So you can easily make out from this question that the rate constant K is given, which is 0.25 mole per hour. What will be the initial concentration, means R0 they are asked. After 30 minutes means time duration they have given very clearly, but here it is in per hour and this is minutes are given, so this minutes has to convert it into hours so that we can have the same units here. So we can write this as 30 minutes, it should be divided by 60 minutes for 1 hour, so we can write this as 1/2, so we can write this as 0.5 hour. And concentration of reactant after this is equal to 0.075 mole per liter. So you can write this as K equals to this initial molar concentration after time T, and that is divided by the T here, and we can write this as R0 minus R equals to KT. This is the term which we have calculated in previous question. It can be denoted by X also. So this is initial concentration of the reactant is equal to KT plus this R0, and K is given 0.25 and T we have converted that into hours, which is 0.5, and this R has to be converted into this side, so R value is given anyway, is 0.075, so it is 125, this 0.125 plus 0.075, and when we add them together it will be 0.2 mole per liter. So this is the R0 initial molar concentration of the reactant value. So this is the final answer we are getting. So this is the question regarding the zero order reaction. So today we have done 6 questions. Carefully you have to solve them once again. The zero order questions, you should not ignore them, because in MCQs this type of question appears. Many more questions of this type will solve in the next class. I have told you in last class, be ready with the log table. I think you are ready with log table, but today we did not get sufficient time to start the question on first order reaction. But definitely in the next class we'll start with the questions of first order where log table is needed. So thank you for watching this video. Keep studying.